Apa khabar? Hello everybody. We are here this morning at a local coffee shop in downtown KL to launch the Aktif Bersama Toolkit. Aktif Bersama actually means active together. And so the program is around physical, mental health, as well as building social connection in PPR. And I'll show you a video shortly, but first, I'm very excited to introduce to you 3 of the 11 partners that were part of this Aktif Bersama program. So next to me, I have Hayati from PERWACOM at PPR Hicom. We have Cindy from Thrive Well and Baidah from the Free Tree Society. I'm Uta Dietrich, the Director of Social Resilience and Urban Health with Think City, the people that put the program together. And I'd also like to give a shout out to City Foundation, who funded and supported the program. And now I would like to share a video with you summarizing the program. Aktif Bersama is a health and well-being program that harnesses the benefit of physical activity to improve physical health, mental health, and building social networks. It is designed to be COVID safe. Our ultimate aim is to build social resilience in disadvantaged communities. Aktif Bersama has been realized with the support of Think City's long-term partner, City Foundation.
Program ni kerana kita dapat mengeratkan hubungan dengan khususnya masyarakat lah. Di samping kita dalam situasi COVID-19 ni, susah untuk beriadah sama keluarga, tapi bila adanya program aktiviti berjalan ni, boleh mengeratkan hubungan balik dengan kekeluargaan.
Saya jogging dan bersenam dah selama 4 bulan. Sebab rumah flat biasa kan, tak kenal antara satu sama lain kadang tu. Lepas tu so dah ramai-ramai tu, kenal lah.
In line with the K2K project, we have teamed up with Think City to provide kids in this PPR household the opportunity to play badminton.
Now in any community, especially here at PPR, it's really important for the kids to have something that they can look forward to.
Guide them and train them even better every week. It's such a great platform for them as well.
Masa negara kita diisytiharkan adanya COVID-19, saya rasa macam takut, tapi one day saya ada ternampak satu video yang berkaitan dengan ketidakpastian hidup. Bila saya tengok, bila saya tonton video tu dan bila saya dengar apa yang dibicarakan, saya rasa pelangi tu ada untuk kami. Matahari tu ada untuk kami.
Okey, saya ada terima panggilan untuk survey berkenaan dengan mental health, which is sangat baguslah sebab diadakan di sini kerjasama daripada Think City dan Soft Help. At the end, dia ada bagi advice how to kita overcome our stress. Dia bagi information dekat mana kita boleh seek for help.
Kau mahu tahu asalnya.
Composting penting untuk mencegah sampah. So kita boleh ambil sampah tu untuk dijadikan baja.
Gejala yang dialami itu memangnya tak nampak, tak tahu. Saya menyarankan agarnya semua pihak yang berada di luar sana untuknya mengikuti segala perkembangan yang ada di dalamnya program webinar ini lah.
Okay, bukan setakat K2K Aktif Bersama, tapi ia merangkumi semua aktiviti seperti webinar kanser dan stroke. Kita juga ada bengkel kompos. Kita juga ada konsultan yang sudi mendengar rintihan keluhan kami di sini. Pandemik ni bukannya sesuatu yang biasa kita experience. Ini adalah pertama kali dalam seumur hidup dan ia adalah luar biasa.
Now that you've seen what the program is all about, I'd like to ask my colleagues here and friends, what is this toolkit all about and how useful do they find it? So Cindy, you had quite a big chunk of programs as part of Aktif Bersama. Maybe introduce yourself first and then tell us, you've had a look at the toolkit, what do you find most useful about it?
Thanks, Uta. So yes, my name is Cindy and I am from Thrive Well. We are a social enterprise with the aim of bringing trauma-informed community mental health services to individuals, families and communities in a sustainable way. And very thankful to be part of the Aktif Bersama program. The toolkit is a very, very comprehensive guide, I would say, that allowed me, as I was looking through it, I could see how we can use this toolkit to really check what are the, sometimes problems when we face, how could we solve these problems? Because it was very real, the barriers and the potential issues that may arise as one does a program of such nature. So I would really want to use this, recommend my team and other organizations who want to bring and do things with the community to properly look through this, and not just at the start. Once you start the program and get a taste of it, look back at the toolkit again and see where are the gaps, what can we do, what are we missing out. So that's how I'd like to use it.
Thanks, Cindy. And that's also why we actually added to the toolkit a number of checklists and the like at the end to help you.
I really like all the samples, very real, and also, yes, the checklist, like you said, yes.
All right. Now, Baidah, how about you? What did you find most useful in that toolkit?
I think your toolkit is amazing. For me in particular, I especially love the section on program assessment at the end, because I think it's something that, you tend to sort of gather the preliminary data and forget to look back later and see if you've actually made an impact, and from there how you can, stop and create a better program as you turn it into something better and more wonderful that's really going to create the impact that you desire in the community. Also for benefit to student groups and corporate groups, I think sometimes when you go out to create a program for the community, sometimes it's about just being seen to act rather than thinking of the actual impact. And I think the toolkit's going to help to craft a better and more thoughtful program that will in the end create that social impact that we want in building resilient and healthy communities. So as with all the ideas that are in there, having that as a starting point to kickstart and churn off all these different ideas and follow up all the way through with that assessment at the end. I think well done. So thank you for creating that.
Thanks, Baidah. And we would now like to hear from Hayati from PPR Hicom. But before I ask her question, I would just like to share with you that we are in true Malaysian fashion doing this in a mix of English and BM. So Puan Hayati, we would like to hear from you. How useful did you find the toolkit, and will other PPRs use it? And just for our audience, we are mixing English and BM here. So please, Hayati.
Saya daripada Persatuan Wanita PPR Hicom, Ismail Persatuan PERWACOM Prihatin. Kami punya base berada di PPR Kampung Baru Hicom. Semasa dalam proses pandemik ni, penduduk-penduduk di PPR, mana kami berada dalam ketidakpastian. Maknanya pergerakan kami terbatas, kami stres duduk dalam rumah. Jadi tak ada apa aktiviti pun yang boleh dilakukan. Bila diperkenalkan dengan toolkit ni, K2K Aktif Bersama, maknanya ada sesuatu yang kami boleh buat. Walaupun sekadar macam orang kata berjalan, tapi bila benda ni dibuat secara terancang dalam satu kumpulan, kami membentuk komuniti kami sendiri. Jadi benda ni jadi more exciting, seronok, semua orang berminat nak terlibat sekali. Tambah pula dengan pengisian-pengisian semasa dalam program ni, seperti kebun dapur edible, kemudian ada juga yang mental health kan. Jadi benda ni menjadi macam sesuatu yang very exciting. Maknanya kami dapat release kami punya stres di rumah dalam pandemik ni dengan sesuatu yang berguna, sesuatu yang bermanfaat dan juga untuk kesihatan kami sendiri. Saya akan perkenalkan benda ni kepada PPR yang lain kerana kami berada di dalam PPR ni satu kelompok yang macam orang kata padat. Kekurangan tempat-tempat rekreasi, maknanya tempat anak-anak kami untuk bermain kurang. Jadi ini satu aktiviti yang rasanya very simple tapi begitu bermanfaat untuk semua.
Terima kasih Hayat and Cindy and Baidah. I'm really pleased that the toolkit that you find it useful, because often we run programs and then the program finishes and maybe if you're lucky you duplicate the program somewhere else. But our idea with the toolkit was that we can actually create something that can then be self-perpetuating. And we are making the toolkit available and people can download it from our website and hopefully many other people can use it and for the benefit of many, many communities. That's great.
Yeah, agreed.
Baidah, if I can just come back to you. Now, we saw that Aktif Bersama is a program around health and well-being and improving livability in public housing. And people can see, yes, walking, yes, counselling, yes, but environmental activities, composting, what has composting to do with health? No. Or creating an edible garden? But I bet you can explain it.
So at Free Tree Society, we're all about environmental awareness programs that have an impact on the way we live and to make sure that the way that we live is greener and more sustainable. So we look a lot at climate change, water, waste, conservation of green spaces and creating more habitats for biodiversity. And all of this is centered around plants. So growing plants and living in a greener environment just makes everybody happier and healthier. And so in particular for the PPR Hicom, what we did there was a composting workshop which is directly related to cleaner air and water as we reduce our waste, and taking that compost and planting with it, and in doing so tackling sort of that availability of food and access to food. So with regards to the first workshop, which was the composting one, it wasn't just about composting. We went into talking about consumption and the zero waste ethos, how we can look at the management of waste through things like recycling. And then it was why compost? And it's because half of the waste that we throw out on a daily basis is actually organic. And taking that organic waste and composting results in this creation of free fertilizer that we can then take to grow our own healthy food. And that led us to the second program, which was Kebun Mini Dapur, where we taught the residents about first making healthy soil, which incorporated the compost. And we also looked at growing food from waste. So we took turmeric roots and also onion bulbs, so you could grow shallots from those. We also taught them about transplanting herbs and growing food from cuttings such as Brazilian spinach. And yeah, it was wonderful to see them grow their own little, or put together their own little Kebun Mini Dapur. And the thing about growing your own food is that sort of starting block to our needs. Yeah. And when you are fed well, it reduces so many ills.
Yes, it does. And
yeah, so when you compost and you're growing your own food, especially through food waste, it doesn't have to cost a lot. So it takes care of some burden from economic livelihoods as well, and you're contributing to better nutrition as well. And I'm sure maybe Cindy, you might agree that gardeners are amongst the happiest and healthiest people in the world, and that's because we're active and we're outside in the sunshine and we're eating healthy food, and being able to contribute that into public housing, making sure that there's space and the skills and the knowledge to be able to grow these gardens. It can contribute so much to building that healthy society that we all want.
Thanks, Baidah. And it's really becoming clear that the link between nature and health, and the importance of spending time outside, surrounded by nature, to de-stress, to help us with our mental health. But there's another aspect that I want to ask you, Cindy, about, and Aktif Bersama's central focus, the central point of the program are walking groups. Walking as a way of being physically active, of talking to other people, interacting, creating some sort of social connection. If you could explain a bit, what is the link between physical activity and mental health?
Thanks, Uta. I just wanted to say that, Baidah, when you were sharing just now, I really felt alive. You know, hearing about the composting and how that could be put into growing food, you know, I could feel like a lot brighter already. So really love to visit the place, you know. Yeah, and now speaking about the physical activity, Uta, I would say it is 3 main impacts that physical activity has on our health, which is bio, psycho, and social. So bio, biologically, psycho would be psychologically, mentally, and the third one, social health, social well-being. So starting with the biological effects, and I think research has really proven that physical activity helps to reduce the stress hormones. So when you feel stressed, there's all those kind of cortisols. It reduces with physical activity. That's the good news. And the other thing is physical activity increases endorphins. Some people call it happy hormones. So you actually feel good after taking a walk and or any sort of, you know, stretching exercises. So that's a biological effect. And naturally, when you feel good, the mood is better. So mental health, that's also better. Secondly, is on the psychological mental impact. And a lot of times when we feel stress, that's when in our head we are just caught up like worrying, anxious, what ifs, did I do this correctly, why didn't I do this, and so on. So we're caught up in our head, but when we do physical activity, then the mind kind of frees up, it loosens up a bit, because the attention now is not just caught up in those thinking and stresses, but it's towards the body calms down and loosens up, then the mind also calms down and loosens up. So that mental impact from doing physical activity, and I really can see this for myself when I'm like, oh, I can't think, and then I feel like I need to get this done now. I don't have time. But when I just just take a little walk, ta-da! Yeah, the answer comes, and it's not as hard as the initial time when I was like, I can't figure it out. Yep, so that's the impact on psychological, mental health, and on the social well-being. So when the walking tours, I remember when you first told me about it, I was like, wow, that's wonderful. Because I've done some programs with communities, but more like a workshop in a particular location, but never did that kind of active walking. So that I fully agree when you meet, and Hayat mentioned, you get to meet other people together as a community, just saying hi and connecting, that actually helps us also feel like we're not alone. Right? A lot of the stresses, mental stresses, are because we feel like it's just so difficult. But when we do it together as a community, that's the social health and how that impacts also the mental well-being. So yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity to be part of this program, how we can complement each other with our respective parts.
Yeah, and I think that's a real strength of the Aktif Bersama, so many different puzzle pieces that we put together, and there's something different for different people. Whatever you like, there is something for you. And Hayat, one of the Aktif Bersama program is actually part of a bigger K2K program. And K2K stands for Kita untuk Kita, and tries to promote the empowerment aspect from community for community. And so with that, and you've been part and helping us shape and make this a success, the program. I'd like to hear from you so in terms of empowerment, maybe talk to us a little bit about the walk leaders and what their role was, and any other comments you'd like to make. What difference the program has made in the life of people at PPR Hicom?
Okay, first sekali saya nak komen lah yang Baidah tu pasal dia punya program kompos. Bagi saya berjaya sebab apa? Saya sebagai ibu di rumah rasanya bila setiap kali mau nak buang sampah, anak-anak akan cakap, jangan bunuh paus biru. The terms of paus biru memang melekat dekat kepala saya sebabnya setiap kali nak buang sampah, jangan bunuh paus biru. Jadi kita terpaksa select sampah-sampah ni semua. Jadi kepada dia punya kategori-kategori lah. Kemudian kembali kepada K2K ni, sebenarnya selain daripada menjana self empowerment, dia juga menjana ekonomi kami, kerana setiap pagi kami bergerak dalam sekumpulan. Jadi peniaga-peniaga boleh mengambil kesempatan, kami akan order, kata balik nanti kami akan ambil. Maknanya kita akan bergerak, kita akan order akan buat pesanan untuk sarapan. Maknanya peniaga-peniaga kecil ni mendapat menjana income semula. Kalau waktu petang pula ada penjaja-penjaja air balang. Jadi ini bukan sahaja macam bagi kesihatan kepada kami sihat, kami dapat berkomunikasi dengan tim kami, tapi juga masyarakat sekeliling pun mendapat impak yang sama. Dalam pada itu disebabkan rasa macam kekitaan tu, kami juga mana ahli PPR ni juga telah mencipta lagu tema kami sendiri. Mana kita untuk kita, lagu tema itu untuk kami, semangat kami. Untuk yang team leader ni, work leader, kita ada dari various umur.
And wasn't your daughter one of the walk leaders? She was our youngest walk leader. She was only 15.
Yes. Dia dengan kumpulannya, dia memimpin kumpulannya. Sebelumnya, she's so shy. Jadi bila terpaksa memimpin satu kumpulan, dia terpaksa bersuara. Jadi sekarang ni dia membina keyakinan diri dia sendiri. Mula-mula memang rejected kat situ. Tapi bila dah hari kedua, hari ketiga, dia boleh memimpin kumpulan kecil dia. Itu rasanya cukup memberi impak yang besar lah.
And you brought a couple of things here. So what did the walk leaders do? So I know that we from Think City, we walked around and created the walk map. But then you helped us design this map with the stamps, because you said the best process is actual stamp rather than sign.
Oh, it was your idea.
So we have the map, and then how does that work? You just stamp explain how.
Okay, ini merupakan peta jalan kami. Ini peta Tiong Nam dan ini adalah peta Champion. Kami lebih prefer di sinilah. Sebelum ni jalan-jalan di sini tak menarik perhatian pun. Tapi bila setiap tim yang pergi, mereka akan ambil satu gambar. Jadi diorang akan share dalam grup. Jadi angle yang diorang ambil tu kadang-kadang rasa macam kat mana? Jadi dia jadi macam excited kumpulan lain untuk pergi jalan ambil gambar angle yang sama. Maybe macam ada satu gambar yang menunjukkan macam seolah-olah Korea di situ. Okay. Kita ada checkpoint. Mana you start with checkpoint 1, mana you can scan, kemudian you berjalan, kemudian bila dah habis pergerakan, mana you balik kepada checkpoint tu, dan then kita akan stamp. Saya begitu tertarik dengan Toolkit ni sebabnya yang Toolkit ni kita boleh gunakan dalam semasa Hari Sukan Negara. Maknanya kita boleh lancarkan, kita boleh buat satu K2K Aktif Bersama secara virtual. Mana bukan setakat komuniti PPR saja yang boleh join, tapi menyeluruh ke seluruh Malaysia.
Great. Thanks, that's a good use for it. Thank you all for coming, and it was great to have some representatives from our 11 partners for the Aktif Bersama Toolkit here today with us, launching the Think City Aktif Bersama Toolkit. And you three are part of 11 partners. The program was supported by City Foundation. And if you're interested, visit the Think City website, the program, you can find it there, download. You can contact us if you need any help. And with that, I'd really like to finish with some pictures and images from PPR Hicom and the Aktif Bersama program. Thank you very much, Baidah, Cindy, and Hayat. Thank you so much.